The Honourable Leader of the Second Opposition.
Madam Speaker, since the recent cabinet shuffle in August, the Minister for Crown Services has been very reserved about her new role. She's in charge of Manitoba liquor, lotteries and cannabis, yet the entire file has been handled by others. She didn't show up at the release of a catastrophic hydro report that involved criminal allegations. She's refusing to comment on a $2.5 million inquiry into kiosk and bipole. Manitoba Hydro is borrowing more than $2 billion this year alone, and its debt is approaching that of the province as a whole. The hydro is a file that has the potential to make or break Manitoba. Can the minister explain her silence, or would the premier prefer to do it for her?
The Honourable First Minister. The Honourable First Minister.
Right here, boys, right here.
Well, I think the member's words have removed all doubt, Madam Speaker, of his desire to see higher taxes in Manitoba, to see bigger subsidies, to see higher business taxes. He has proclaimed already, repeatedly, that the previous NDP government's problem wasn't that they spent too much while they doubled our debt, Madam Speaker, but that they should have spent more. He would reinstate the vote tax. He wants us to borrow more on the backs of children in our province and their future. These are the wrong kinds of things to want, Madam Speaker, but he chooses to want them anyway.
The Honourable Leader of the Second Opposition on a supplementary question.
The Premier's powers of invention are truly awesome, Madam Speaker. When the Premier shuffled his cabinet in August, the mandate letters that were handed out were exactly the same as they were in May 2016, even with the same names. They were only updated 2 months later. In the minister's mandate letter from 2.5 years ago, it directs the then Minister of Manitoba Hydro to set up Efficiency Manitoba, cut red tape, and review the bipole project with the new board of Manitoba Hydro. To date, none of this has been done because the Premier refused to meet with his handpicked board, and they resigned en masse, saying this government shares equally in the blame with the NDP for the mess at Hydro. If Hydro's new board finds exactly the same problems that the board that quit did, does this minister have the authority to act, or is it still the Premier alone who's going to be responsible for ignoring the problems at Hydro?
The Honourable First Minister.
Well, Madam Speaker, the only truth in the member's preamble was the last 4 words. There are problems at Hydro, and we're addressing those problems. In respect of his other performance responsibilities, the issues that he's raised thus far have been a proposal to raise taxes and a proposal that he have larger amounts of office space. We disagree with both.
The Honourable Leader of the Second Opposition on a final supplementary.
Madam Speaker, the Minister of Crown Services is tasked with implementing the Pallister Green Plan, which promises to clean up contaminated sites. The same minister is also tasked with a red tape reduction bill, which means that companies don't need a new license to set up a new hazardous waste disposal site. This government has been complicit with the NDP in withholding test results for years, showing dangerous levels of lead contamination, in part due to hazardous waste disposal sites. The report sat for 10 years under both governments, and it refers to previous reports of lead contamination with no action going back to the 1980s. If cleaning up contaminated sites is a priority for this government, why are they making it easier to create new ones?
The Honourable First Minister.
10 years under both governments, 9 years and 11 months and approximately 1 month, I think, Madam Speaker, the comparatives. But the point is that we've acted. This minister, this government took action on an issue that was covered up for a long time. The member should be applauding that rather than trying to make an issue out of it and criticize us for taking the action that was negligent under the previous government for a decade. That being said, the member is continuing to represent Ottawa to Manitobans and stand up for a carbon tax and against a green plan for our province, Madam Speaker. We say yes to the green plan. We say no to the carbon tax.
Hear, hear.